Today, we are going to talk all about Ascension and light code activations. So let's talk about Ascension first, because you can't understand light code activation unless you have an understanding of Ascension. Ascension is really about the individual and the collective moving to a higher vibration. That's the simplicity of this. Basically, all Ascension is about service. And that is, for me, the primary importance of why and how we are ascending. When you are of service, when you are helping others in any way that comes from the heart or as much from the heart as you possibly can, then you're in that frequency of ascension. It's also about raising your vibration. And I was with some people recently and they were talking about negative things. And I thought, wow, that the vibration really shifts quickly when you go into a negative thought or feeling or talking about something negative, as opposed to talking about things that are a higher frequency. What's a higher frequency is more from love, connection, oneness, and service. Service is the vibrational equivalent of the divinity or divine essence. When you are helping yourself through love by helping others, or helping others through love, through connection, through your heart, you are raising your vibration. And you're also holding a frequency that is in alignment with the divine, with oneness. So it is really about service to all. Now, let's look at it this way. Nowadays, people talk about light working, light workers, star seeds, the ascension, the awakening. To me, all these things are the same. There's not any difference between a light worker or a star seed. There's no difference between raising your vibration and the ascension. It's all in the same category or under the same umbrella. We use different words or different expressions about things to help us understand it, and also for us to be aware of what that means to us individually. But basically, it's all the same because it's all about transformation and it's all about service. And this service is a deep knowing that you are here to hold a higher frequency. You don't have to teach. You don't have to sing songs. You don't have to play music. You don't have to do Reiki. That is not what service is about. Service is about holding a higher frequency. Now, in the availability as humans, look, we all have our issues. We all have things that come up for us. That's normal, right? We're normal humans. Don't expect perfection. Let's put perfection and throw that one out the window. Basically, if you feel like your vibration is just lowering a little bit, take some time, go into your heart, and just feel into love. And if I were seeing this in a loving way, how am I holding myself back? Or how am I creating a lower frequency for myself? Maybe I'm feeling sad, or maybe I'm angry about something, or maybe I'm just tired. All of these things are legitimate for humans. So what you want to do is go inside and say, okay, I'm feeling this, and it's okay, right? There's nothing wrong with feeling tired. There's nothing wrong with feeling a little frustrated. But when you're conscious and aware of it and the observer of that, then you are holding a higher frequency, which is what we really want to be doing. We want to keep our frequency as high as possible, right? And when we do that, we help others to do that. So this whole ascension process is about the individual and slash the collective raising our vibration. And how do we do that? I mean, like, that's great. Okay. How do we do that though? This is all about inner transformation. And I talk about this a lot in my classes with my students, with my coaching clients. I talk about this a lot because transformation is the way that we shift and change our environment, how we shift and change our internal dialogue and who we are. Transformation is about the inner self shifting. It has nothing to do with how other people perceive you. Nope. Doesn't have anything to do with what kind of job you do. Nope. It has nothing to do with how you reacted yesterday either. What it has to do with is, who are you being in this moment? And that is really important. Like, who are you being? What kind of energy are you holding right now? And even in the moment, if you have some difficulty or you're having trouble holding a higher frequency and you don't know how to do this transformational work, take a moment and ask yourself, like, where am I now in my life? What's coming up for me? You have to go inside to do this transformation in order to ascend. You will not be able to raise your vibration or ascend if you are not doing your inner work. And it's very important to me for everybody to do their inner work. I've noticed through the years the people who talk about doing the work, but then they don't actually do it, or they try to do it, or they say they try to do it, but they're always projecting outward all their issues out into the world, then they're not really being authentic to themselves. They're not really doing their inner work. This is all about healing and raising your individual consciousness, raising your frequency. What I mean by raising your consciousness is being able to live more in your higher consciousness. When we live more in our higher consciousness than our lower frequencies, we are happier, we're more blissful, we're more aware of our issues, we feel love more in a more divine way, we manifest faster. All of these things happen because we are experiencing a raise of frequency and our own individual ascension. We're hitting a whole frequency. And this is why so many people are waking up spiritually, or they're more interested in doing that inner work, because they recognize that they're ready for the next level of their own ascension. They understand that they are ready as a collective, live in a higher frequency. And the more of us that come together as a unit and live in this higher frequency, the more we are being of service to others to live authentically through love for themselves. Not love of self, but love self. There's a little bit of a difference. So love self. So I love myself so much that I don't beat myself up if I say something that wasn't correct. I love myself so much that I will be clear on my boundaries with people. This is self-love, because the ascension is about heart energy. It's all about staying in your heart and being aware of love. As a collective, in order for us to reach fifth dimension or fourth density, so in order for us to connect to that 5D frequency, it's all about the ascension work. Yeah, it's about, as a collective, recognizing that we are not destined to be victims. We are not destined to be in pain. We have other options. And unfortunately, in our world, we don't see those options clearly because we sit so much in the ego's perception. The idea that there's something else available other than pain, there's something else available other than suffering, it doesn't compute in our head because we're sitting in this lower frequency and the ego says, oh no, this isn't possible. One of the other things about ascension is that will live in more of our miraculous experiences. And I'm going to give you a few stories that I have actually witnessed, and so have other people in my personal in-person classes. So the first story I'm going to share is the time jumping pen, I call it lovingly. So I had a class. There was probably about maybe 13, 15 of us, maybe even up to 20. And I was holding it in my basement in my house where I used to live. And we've known each other for a while, but we were really getting deep into light code activation and we were really getting deep into ascension work. And I was creating portals and higher frequencies in this space in my basement. One day, one of the women, we'll just call her Sally, Sally came into my house and I said, "Hi, Sally, how you doing?" And I was just getting maybe a drink or something. And she starts walking down the stairs and I follow her. So she's about 6 stairs ahead of me. And then another woman, let's call her Grace, she's about, 5 feet behind me. Okay. So as Sally's walking down the stairs, I'm carrying my thing down the stairs, following her. Everything seems normal and it just seems okay, normal. I don't notice anything out of the sort. Then I go over to my seat. Sally sits down, and Grace is following behind us. So she walks down the same stairs we did, and we all sit down. And all of a sudden, and it was just the three of us in the room at the time. And I looked down and I was like, "What is that by the stairs?" We all would have stepped on this thing, by the way. All of us would, or at least Grace and I would have stepped on it. It was a pen. And I'm like, "Where did this pen come from? I didn't see it earlier." And Grace said, "I didn't see it earlier. I would have stepped on it. It was like right in where I would have walked or Grace would have walked. There's no way we would have missed that." And that pen, I was like, "Where did it come from?" It had time jumped. So when Sally sat down, she had taken her pen and was going to write with it. Now she's on the other side of the room, by the way, not where the pen is, the whole other side of the room. That pen. And then she's like, "Where's my pen?" She's like, "That's my pen. How did my pen get from here to there?" It bilocated. It time jumped. And I have a feeling this all happened because we were in a place of availability of these things happening. It didn't just happen because we thought about it. It happened spontaneously. The energy was spontaneous. And then another story that I have, same class. A lot of things happened in this particular class because we were really hitting some high vibrations in the class. I was sitting in my chair and I kind of sit a little bit in this little corner of this room. And I had my phone and it was actually under my leg. And I got up to go bring a piece of paper to someone across the room. Now I get up, nothing happens. I walk all the way across the room, nothing happens. I'm talking to the person in front of me. I'm handing her a piece of paper. And all of a sudden goes, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that." Like they were shocked. And I look behind me, my phone. So let me explain this because it's hard to explain. My phone, which was sitting under my leg on a chair, like over here, let's say, it. This is what I heard the story. Now I was across the room. I didn't see it, but 3 or 4 people in the room saw it. They said the phone went this. It lifted up all the way over, jumped about 4, 5 feet, and flipped. This didn't just happen. This happened as a way for us to recognize that there is no time and space, that anything is possible. Miracles happen. I believe that everything that we experience, like so many people experience that phone jumping, to each individual, it means something for them. It doesn't have to mean something for everyone or the same thing. And I believe that because spiritual people try to tell everybody the answers to everything, but if your answer is different, it's okay, right? Be okay with whatever your answer is. That's your answer, and that's your truth, right? That's what you see. That's how you perceived it. That's what it means for you. Okay. So for me, that phone lifting and changing meant that stop looking at the world in a way that is only concrete, that time and space are these things that we have to walk through and go through like one thing after another after another. We can change things instantaneously. That's what that meant for me. And maybe it meant something for other people. But this is because the energy is shifting, it's changing. The energy is moving in a whole new direction because we're ready for it. This is the time of our awakening. But we need to awaken in a way that helps everyone transcend and transmute their own energies. Can't raise our frequency or ascend without being in that frequency. Now, I've manifested many different things. It's funny, I've manifested quite a few different paintings. Um, I've manifested a house, I manifested moving, I manifested great friends, great relationships, right? So those things have become part of my regular life. And these are good things that are happening. So in the ascension, you want to allow the miracle. So this is going to be your exercise for the next week. I'd love for you to do this. I want you to start expecting miracles, expecting the miraculous. So I want you to start saying, you know what, universe, show me what miracles look like. Without any expectations, without any manifesting, show me what miracles look like. And just keep on saying that. Show me what miracles look like. Show me what a miraculous experience is like. Show me that. When I say universe, I mean you. I mean your higher consciousness. It's not some person, place, or thing outside of yourself. It is you. You are your own higher consciousness. You are part of the universe. So I tell the universe and my higher consciousness, which I combine in the universe. When I say universe, to me, the intention is the universe and my higher consciousness working as a unit. That's how I see it. That helps me perceive it this way. So I'll say the universe, like, what? Show me what it's like to live a miraculous life. Show me what miracles look like. Show me what a mystical experience would be. I do this so that the energy of oneness of my own higher consciousness shows up for me differently than, let's say, my ego consciousness shows up differently. And that's what the ascension is about. And that's where we're headed, which is so beautiful. That's so amazing. We're headed in this way. So these major shifts happen because we're living in a place and a frequency of a higher vibration, higher consciousness, and energy shifts. These miraculous things that are happening happen without our own expectations, without us being attached to the outcome. And even the best manifestors that I know understand that they cannot be attached to the outcome. Because if they're attached to the outcome or they're trying to make things happen, they're not in the flow of the universe. They're not in that flow energy where things are happening in a miraculous way. They're in a place of ego needs, ego's patterns, ego's illusions. Because when we sit in the illusion of this earth plane, we are missing out on the possibility of raising our frequency. We're missing out on the possibility of living a life where amazing people come to us. We all have this energy potential, a frequency potential, we'll call it. So we all have this frequency potential. And in this moment, I'm just giving these numbers as a way for us to understand it in our mind. But this is not a science, and this isn't like an exact, like the number I'm giving you is exactly where my potential is. Let's just say my potential is at um, a 2000. So I have a potential of 2000 frequency. And I'm moving in a direction of raising my potential. So here I am at 1000, and I'm kind of sitting there 1000, right? And I'm not raising any more. How do I raise the frequency to like 1300? How do I do that? I start recognizing that I'm holding myself back energetically, that I'm keeping my vibe low by watching negative shows, by being upset about what people are saying around me, by trying to control people in your life. All of these things hurt your potential. And so what now you're going to ask yourself, okay, so this isn't working out for me. What is going to work out for me, right? So, maybe stop watching the news. I just heard somebody recently say to me, "Oh, I don't watch the news anymore. I realize how much it's bothering me." It's like, what do you mean you just recently stopped? You should always never watch the news. The energy is so low vibrational. But teach his own. I'm not judging that. But this vibration matters because your higher consciousness cannot be at a higher energy if you are holding on to a lower frequency. It's just not going to happen. You're responsible for your own frequency, and that's what I mean by this. You are responsible for your own frequency. Nobody's making you a higher frequency or lower frequency. It's on you. Your vibration's on you, and we're all going to falter. Look, we all have our moments, of, oh my gosh, this is happening. Why is this happening? And if that happens to you, take a moment and just breathe through it and go into your heart. We're here to raise this vibration. And we're here as a collective because this ascension is happening as a collective frequency. And we're starting to recognize this illusionary experience. This is not real. I'm not bound to this world, like tied up in it, so much so that I can't move, stuck in it.